Brilliant. Let's have a look at this next one then. So I'm now going to go into a little bit about the more unusual codes we could come across. So most of the time, using the counting method with the little loops is going to get you the right answer. Occasionally, though, you might come across a question where that's not much help. So if I look at this one, for instance, the code for crooked is xi, etc., etc., etc. What's the code for straight? I can see immediately, just by looking at C, R, and X and I in the alphabet, that the jumps between them are completely different. And again, if I look from O to L, that's really different as well. And there's no obvious pattern here by counting. Now I've gone through and quickly highlighted where some of these different letters are. Is there anything that you notice about them?
Yeah, there's some symmetry. So C is the third letter from the start of the alphabet. X is the third letter away from the end of the alphabet.
Yeah. So one of the things you could do in an exam like this is double check really easy to spot things like, for instance, A to Z or C to X. Once you've done that, stick a mirror line down the middle of your alphabet here, and then you can start counting in from the end or counting in from the middle, depending on what you find easiest. So if we've got straight, for instance, I can see the letter S here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in from the middle, and I'll just double check from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So whatever S reflects to should be 5 this way and 7 this way. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know that I've put my line in the right place and I've worked this out correctly. So the first letter in our code must be H. Going off the next bit, so I've now got the letter T. Is there anything that we've already worked out that can help us work out this reflection more easily?
Well, we've got S and H already marked on there. So could we go one away from them?
Yeah. Is the reflection of T going to be I or G?
G.
G. How do we know?
Because we're going away from the middle line.
Yeah, exactly. So you're remembering your math skills to help you out here then. So we're going to have H,
symmetry,
G.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. R, well, this is really useful. We already know the reflection for R is I. Easy peasy. A, that's a nice easy one to do. We're just going all the way over to the end of the alphabet. So that must be Z. Okay. And again, I'll start crossing off some of these letters as I go, just so I remember I've done them. I, excellent. I already know the reflection for that one as well, because we've already worked it out. So that must be R as our next letter. G, once again, we've already worked that one out. So I don't have to keep doing a new reflection or a new bit of working every time. That's a T. H, we know that's a reflection of S. So we're going to put an S over here. And T, again, we've already worked out is G. So we can really quickly and easily work this out by looking between the positions in the alphabet and by looking at the workings we've already done. You can't necessarily do this for other codes, like where we're counting, because if you had something like on our previous page, where you're counting +5, +4, +3, and so on and so on, that's not going to work in the same way. But we can do it for this symmetry code because the line of symmetry isn't going to change.
So you think it's worth, first of all, looking to see the jumps between whether there's a pattern there, and then if that doesn't work, looking at the position in the alphabet?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that, because sometimes there isn't an counting will be how a lot of these codes work.
Mm-hmm.
But if that isn't producing the useful pattern, then absolutely do something like this as a second stage to help you out.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so clearing off that one and onto our next slide. Something else you might find that looks a bit unusual or weird is they suddenly bring some numbers into it.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that throws off a lot of people because you suddenly think to yourself, oh God, where did these numbers come from?
Mm.
So what I'd be tempted to do here first is find each of these letters in the alphabet and write the number that you're being given above it. So F is 6. Then we've got A, which is 1. Then we've got C, which is 3. And we've got E, which is 5. So having put those in, do you notice anything about any of these letters and these numbers?
Well, again, it's the position, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the position in the alphabet. A is the first position, C is the second, and so on and so on. So how do you think you'd solve what 85475 means?
I would just simply fill in the numbers above the alphabet from 1 to 8, and it will give me all of them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So something that you could do then, if you see something like this in an exam where there's suddenly a bunch of numbers, is quickly write down underneath the alphabet number and position that all of these different letters relate to. So I've just done 1 to 10 because we're only going up to that in the alphabet. Once you've done that, it's really easy to interpret. So the number 8 is G.
Mm.
Then we've got the number 5, which is D. We've got the number 4.
Hang on a second. We've got 5 is E, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. I do apologise. I've written these out wrong, haven't I?
So, no, it's just the 4 isn't quite underneath the D.
Yeah, that'll be where I'm typing. So something that you can learn from me then, double check you've actually written everything in the correct place rather than just speeding ahead.
Mm.
So
shows how easy it is to make a mistake though, doesn't it?
It is. And I do this literally all the time, and it's so easy for me to just accidentally look one over. So
yeah.
Then we've got 4, which is our D, and actually that makes far more sense now because I don't normally have GD at a word, but GED does actually make far more sense. Okay, then let me see. So we've got 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got G here, and I've realised I made another error because I put my 8 over here, didn't I?
H I was thinking, which word is this going to be? I didn't even put that one.
So that actually,
got lockdown fatigue, Charlotte.
I know. It's so easy to make a bit of an error here. So let's say that we had done this and we'd got Gedge and thought, wait, that's not a real word. Double check. Oh, yeah, obviously. H is 8. And hedge, oh yeah, that's a word now, isn't it? So we can see that we should actually be getting a real word at the end of it. And you can use that to check yourself and check to see if you've made any daft mistakes with anything like this.
Great.
Like we do. Okay. So does that all make sense to you, Jenny?
Right. Yeah.
Feeling happy with that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good. Okay. So I think we'll pause there for codes for now, everyone. I might be back with another video about some slightly trickier extension questions that you could have a go at if you like. And we'll be back with another video soon. Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.